Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and welcome back to Out of the Park Baseball 25, episode number 10. We're going to be wrapping up season number 1 in this episode. Definitely happening. We're into the final month, and with the trade deadline and everything behind us, there's not much to hold us back from just zipping to the end of the season. One small obstacle, and we'll resolve this one very quickly, is the September roster expansion. I'm actually going to go ahead and make a move. Just one, though, and a very simple move, one that really doesn't impact anything meaningfully. Stephen Piscotty has good defense, started the season at the Major League level, only was hitting 140, but he's done much better at AAA since we bumped him down. We're going to go ahead and bring him back up for the defense that he offers. He's at 33, so hanging on to him is going to be more of a matter of, like, what, why? What are we going to do with that? That saves one spot, which we're going to save for Rosario, who's back in 1 day. So 1 day from now, Ahmed Rosario, one of the 3 guys that we made moves for late with a 60 contact, 2.5 star overall. That shortstop, he's had 13 games with us before going down injured, hitting 300 or thereabouts for that time. So we'll be excited to have him up there. But one thing that did do by bringing Piscotty up, we're down to 3 outfielders now at AAA level, so we're going to want to bring somebody up to join them and see what's going on. AA, oh, plenty of outfielders, and you got a few guys that are ready to come up. Cal Mitchell probably would be the more likely. I'm surprised, as he played for Pittsburgh a year ago. I'm surprised Cal Mitchell is that far down. Yeah, we don't need to replace him there. So with that task done and Rosario coming back in a day, here's the lay of the land with this first season. Phase 1 of rebuilding the farm. Like, everything was garbage, right? Smallest salary. There was absolutely nothing going for us other than a few fringe Major League players actually on the roster. Period. The end. Like, that's it. We've built some fan momentum. We've made some trades. We've done some rebuilding of the squad itself. But the bigger project that we did this year was the beginning of rebuilding our farm system. The draft was obviously one of the ways to work on that. But beyond that, phase 1 was take the worst, those half stars, those 1-star guys, as many as we could possibly package into anything that would offer returning value. We got a fair few deals done with those. Other teams lost interest, and so we just released those remaining players. Then we started phase 2. Phase 2 is now taking those ones with that 1.5 star, 2-star, low potential, and starting to flip them. We did make progress on that. In fact, we turned that into our first couple best prospects, like top 10 prospects for the overall organization already. So we've already started to see the benefits of those moves. Into next season, we're going to be continuing on with that, but we're also going to be looking at free agency during the off season. Technically, we have tons of money to spend, but really we don't. We have a very limited amount, and if we're going to go make a big deal, if we're going to make a big effort to keep and hang on to Rowdy Tellez, who we picked up last time, it's got about a flat 1 OPS, 3.7 wins above replacement, hitting 300. This is our big-time guy. Now, he was making $3 million, but with an expiring contract, it's going to take a lot more to sign him. And that's going to be our big, decisive goal, move. Do we turn around and trade a Rowdy Tellez next season to dump the huge salary, but realize and know that, hey, we've got some value in this guy. You got a multi-year contract on a contract that to other organizations is doable, is decent. He's going to have some good value in a trade. And where obviously we're going to drop off the popularity part. I mean, what is his popularity? Nationally, he's insignificant. Locally, it's fair on the popularity. So he hasn't made a name for himself yet. So yeah, we wouldn't be hurting in those regards. He's only played 11 games since coming over. Just 4 runs, 282, nothing fantastic, just 3 homers, just 9 RBI. I think he's not having himself an amazing season at the moment. We're talking about a guy that, hasn't been a pro for that long, and this was kind of his breakout year. And that gets us to our full 28 with Rosario back in. See what the team can do going forward. I'm going to push forward a week, and then we're going to start talking with Tellez. In fact, we are down to just Piscotty and Tellez. Piscotty, somebody I think we're ready to move on from with the age, and we don't need to be paying him. He's not good enough. He's fringe at best. So we will release him as a free agent. That's okay that we're not getting any value back in return. It would have been nice to get a deal done earlier, but Tellez. Demand going up. Wasn't it 19? So he's looking for a 5-year deal. That's a relatively favorable type of contract. Average $22 million, but $18 million for the coming season. I think we can try to cut that all down by about $2 million to $3 million. Player option on the back end of that. How about, I think we could probably take this down a little bit more. There you go. So we're going to aim for $15 million for the coming season. Okay, we'll go ahead and flip it to a player option on the final year. So it's 4 plus. Which means if it's player option, I think we should be lowering that salary a little bit. Okay, that's a fair offer. We might have something cooking here. Tellez signs contract. There you go. We have done it. So best player on the roster by a significant margin has signed that contract extension. He'll be making $15 million next season, and we got him cheap. We got him cheap because they knew he was going to cost a lot more. But I think he's a player you can hang on to for 1 year if you want. At $15 million. By the year 2, you got to get rid of him, but maybe if we want, we can flip him next year as well. But either way, I think we've got some increased value through getting Tellez cheap and getting him re-signed, and whatever we're going to get in return for him with a multi-year deal, it's not a bad contract. I don't think that's a bad contract at all, and I think there's going to be somebody who's going to want to pay for a 29-year-old veteran who's got solid numbers throughout his career that's not far off from all-star level. We're obviously not involved, but the pennant chase is on with just a handful of games left to go here in the season. We're at 150 played, so we've got 12. We have 12 to go, so others you could expect roughly the same. AL East has a bit of a battle. Not really. Boston's 5 games up. You know what? I think we're just going to look at the regular old standings. I think it's pretty obvious where things are at. But Red Sox, 5 games up. Minnesota's 5 games up. LA is 4 games up. We are the only team eliminated. We're 13 games behind Detroit, the next worst. Dropping off from that 400 definitely hurt, but we certainly stabilized where we've been, and we've been playing at that 400 of late. We just haven't bounced back from that 16-game losing streak. Meanwhile, the Braves have already clinched 89 wins. Heck of a season going right there. Brewers and Reds equal on games percentage, just a hair off from one another. Dodgers have also already clinched. And then as for wild cards, you can see we have a very, very, very tight race in the AL for the wild card. Meanwhile, in the NL, you got 3 teams that are absolutely running away with it. And that last spot for Arizona is a bit more of a battle. And as for records, well, we're not worst. It's still Colorado. Only by 4 games, though. And we're 1 game behind Miami. It gives us good odds for the lottery for the coming season. All right, so we are going to experience some retirements here. Some players that probably just aren't good enough. Some relievers. Yeah, 27, 28. Makes sense. You get to that point, you're still playing high A ball, and you're like, yeah, I'm never going to make it to the pros. So that's 4 players retiring. We also have a staff member from that same level, pitching coach, that's retiring. I just realized that I have not dealt with our coaching situations as of yet. I need to deal with that before the season ends, and I've got 1 day till that happens. We also have 1 day to make it to 60 wins, which is what the team did a couple years ago. We also have a single A pitcher who is, what was the other one? Oh, the manager. So, gosh, our high A club had a lot of changeover for the coming season. So checking in on the staff. Major League, look, these guys are all already assigned for multiple years. There's only one that's even expiring next year, third base coach. AAA, AA, all the same. Realistically, the only expiration that we have is those couple vacancies now, the manager and pitching coach for our high A ball club. That's it. From the looks of things, we have potentially 6 players heading to arbitration for the coming season. That's going to be a concern, and we might want to sign some deals with a couple of them early, ahead of time. Maybe a Seth Brown type who had a decent season, or checking in on others, or in Gifo, who we brought in. Like, what do they need to be making? And if we're at $69 million for the coming season, that's a big $20 million increase from where we were this year. $30 million from where we're at right now, as we dropped it down quite a bit, but that's not quite sustainable. That is not quite sustainable. So for our ball club, we are going to have to make a move. Like, Tellez can't necessarily stick around forever. Now, if we get rid of just Tellez, $15 million. That's $15 million coming back our way, and that brings us back into a healthy salary right there. So we could essentially hang on to everybody else at the cost of Tellez, or get rid of a couple, 2-3 other guys, or sign some deals and not just go through arbitration to see where we're at. Choices to be made, but hey, we've got a season to finish. Might be my home state team, the team that I like to support. Not doing this by choice, but our last game of the season is in Seattle, so we will play Seattle for this one. In terms of matchups, Ruiz, better. Julio, I get the Julio Rodriguez. They've got him all the way up to 5 stars now. What a talent. Seth Brown, that's a tie. Langoliers, slight edge. And we do get Mason Miller for the final day of the season against Logan Gilbert, who hasn't been great. It's going to give us a chance today. Geloff has been on fire of late. Rayleigh's day-to-day. Julio Rodriguez has been cold. Might just give us a chance. All right, we will use the until runners in scoring position to see what we can do to get through here quickly. Nothing in the top of the first. 2 hits already in the bottom of the second, just 1 out. And Rodriguez at the plate. Not the scenario we want to be in at this point in time. But it's a dribbler. How is that going to... How does that fall through? Like, what? Slow roller. And both the shortstop and the third baseman can't grab it. And that ends up being a hit. And doesn't even count as an error. We need a double play. That's popped short. Infield fly. 2 outs. Polanco at the plate. Chance to escape without any runs scored. Oh, it's driven right back up the middle. Shortstop might have had a chance to dive and grab that one, but he does not make an attempt at it. 2 runs will score. Hopefully just 2. Yeah, it is 2. Oh boy. What the start. We can't hardly score 2 runs a game, and we're going to give up 2 in the first. Bottom of the third. Rodriguez at the plate. Runners on second and third now. Nobody out. We had a walk, presumably, and a double where we were able to get a ball to the plate to hold the guy at third, or just because he's so slow and Rayleigh's so fast. But that's an out, though, and nobody advances. We escaped that one. Crawford. That's popped. Infield. No infield fly. They aren't forced. Strikeout. Wow. From 2 runners in a scoring position and nobody out, we managed to get out of this one with no runs given up. And we finally get our first runner in scoring position. It's Ruiz. Do you want Ruiz to try to steal third? That's a big if. There's nobody out, so no. Strike out. Walk. Steal. Safe. He got there. 63rd stolen base on this season. What is Ricky Henderson's record? Is it like 72 or no? What the heck is the number? We're not close. It's 130. 130 stolen bases. We're only on the verge of being halfway there. One out, runner on third. Geloff, who's hot, drives it deep to right. This is gonna score a run. It drops fair, though. I thought for a second he might make the catch and we'd tag and go, but then he's going for third. Geloff, he's going to dive in, and he is safe. Not exactly standing on the base right now, but, you know, we'll count that. So we've got it from a runner on third to a runner on third. Still one out, and we've cut the lead in half. And here is Rowdy Tellez with his 60 power and 50 contact here against Logan Gilbert. Can he drive the ball deep? He is. We're going to tag up. And we're going to tie this game. Easily tie this game. You'll take that all day long. Deep sack fly is a great way to go. It's 2-all. Dylan Moore, though, on second base in the bottom of the fourth and still no out. They are going to end up getting him across the plate. But in the top of the fifth, with 2 down, Langoliers has reached second, chance to equalize. See what happens on this one. No, it's a dribbler to second. Top of the sixth, Ruiz is once again standing at second base. We also have Austin Meadows this time at first with Geloff at the plate and nobody out. Big opportunity here.
Strike 3.
And he's caught looking at strike 3. Ouch. Tellez. One swing of the bat could put us into the lead, but he's going to stand and watch strike 3. Back to back looking at strike 3. That's 7 strikeouts for Gilbert in 5 2/3 innings. And then we're going to pop it up. Shallow center. Shortstop. It's going to drop back. Make that catch. It's Crawford. And from nobody out with 2 runners on, we aren't able to capitalize and get back in this game. We continue to trail by 1 run. Now, bottom of the 7th. Top of the 8th. That's 1 run for Seattle. It was must have been a home run. Gave up a home run there. Solo shot. Julio Rodriguez now on second. We're still not out of the inning. Crawford, 2 outs. If we have any chance in this game, we've got to get out of this one, and we do with a strikeout. That's good. Matt Brash now at the plate. Top of the 8th, down to Rosario onto third base. And nobody out. So that's a triple for Rosario with Ruiz at the plate. Austin Meadows. Top of the order, you figure they're capable of doing something. They're going to drive that. This is going to... Ooh, they're going to try to make a play at the plate. Safe? Safe. Ooh. Keeps us going, too. Cut the lead to 1. And now Geloff could give us the lead with 1 swing at the bat, but he's not much for a power guy. He does have 19 home runs, though. Seems like he's a little underrated on power. It's a balk? It is a balk. Wow. Okay. Well, Meadows up to second. Still just 1 out. Heart of the order, you want to let him swing, though, so we're not going to force him to advance to third. He's going to strike out, though, on this at-bat, but we still have Tellez now. Once again, another opportunity very much in this final game of the season, looking for that 60th win. We've got a pass ball. Definitely does not look like a wild pitch. Yeah, it kicks away from Ford. So Meadows advances to third. Not that that makes much difference. Any hit from Tellez is likely to score him anyway. But what can Tellez do? Take the walk. Now, if I'm the manager, I'm telling Tellez to steal. Do you, though? The 20-30? I mean, they're not covering anything. Well, they are covering first, I guess. Almost covering. Seth Brown at the plate. Tie and run at third base. He's going to drive it up the middle. No. Oh, it does get through. Game is tied. Game is tied. We have yet to see the team win in person. And now it's 4-4 in the top of the 8th. And we still have 2 runners on with Rengifo at the plate. Love to see all these moves that we made. All these waiver wires guys that we picked up. Or those 3 moves that we did make. All of them being good enough to find their way into the regular lineup. Beto on the mound is worrying. But he struck out both batters that he faced in the 7th. But we also gave up a run in the 7th. Clace. 1 out on second. Mitch Haniger at the plate. Drives that back up the middle. It's going to get through. We're going to have a throw to home. Yes, we are. Safe. And he's safe. That's the go-ahead, and that's probably it for us. I doubt that we're going to be able to pull out any more runs than we've already managed to. So Beto is going to end up taking a loss today. Joe Boyle now on the mound. That should be an easy catch. It would have been much easier to just touch second base, but okay. So, top of the 9th, final game of the season, last half inning, last chance. It's Florial at the plate. 6 wins, 6 losses, 3.08. Oh, that's an error. It is an error. Our season stays alive. Munoz has 30-something saves. Cut it off. Didn't see it. Driven hard and through. The third baseman thought he might come up with that one. What the heck are you doing? Didn't see that as an opportunity to go first and third, but we do go first and third. And now, oh my goodness, Rosario at the plate. Are we going to go for trying to bring that run in? I bet you they try to protect the run. Well, it's not up to me. It's not up to me. I've left everything to the manager. I cannot make decisions, but that's driven hard to right center. Off the wall. I thought it was a home run. Thought it was a home run. At first, I thought it was going to land on the turf, but saw it carry in and was like, wait a second. We've tied the game. It's 5-all. We've got runners at second and third. The go-ahead run is just 90 feet away. Ruiz, we're at the leadoff hitter now. Oh my. He's got a 2-strike count here.
Strike 3.
And he's going to look at strike 3. Ouch. 3 straight strikes. Not how you want to go down there. Now Meadows.
Strike 3.
Meadows is going to stand there and watch strike 3. What the heck? Geloff. Last chance to drive that run. That's 90 feet away in, and he's going to at least swing the bat. But 3 straight strikeouts, and it's inning over. But we have extended our season. Julio Rodriguez and Crawford both on, and just 1 away here at the bottom of the 9th. That one's going to be driven hard to left center, and we make, or left field. We make the catch. Big catch from Meadows there, as he just was able to get underneath that and make the diving catch. That was a difficult one. Now 2 outs to send it to extra innings. Oh, we're going to hit the batter and load the bases. Mitch Haniger. Plenty of power. Not great contact. Come on. Popped shallow. Right over second base. Extra innings. The season keeps going. Final day of the year. Top of the 10th. We get a runner on second, but then we're going to strike out here. Geloff on second. Seth Brown. That was the first out of the inning.
Strike 3.
Second out of the inning. We've struck out 5 times in a row, excluding Geloff. New pitcher on the mound. Rengifo at the plate. He's going to drive that hard past the first baseman. And will this score the run? The throw to home. We're going to advance to second. And we are going to score. We take the go-ahead run here in the top of the 10th. It's 6-5. We've got a chance. There is a chance. Florial at the plate. Still a runner in scoring position. He's going to strike out, though, to end the inning. We head to the bottom of the 10th with a chance to win now. Newcomb on the mound. Newcomb has a 2.36 ERA. He's 3-7 on the season, though. We'll go with the traditional tell runner in scoring position. And we're going to take the out here. It's the first out. The runner advanced to third. I'm not sure you want to let him advance to third like that. I think you want to try to get the go-ahead, especially with a slow runner like Mitch Haniger. Good chance to throw him out. And instead, we go for the quick out. Looks like we want to extend the game as opposed to put ourselves in a position to maybe lose. Harry Ford at the plate. One out. Runner on third. Tying run. This is going to be a very great chance for him to come in. Do we even make the catch? No, we don't. We caught it off the bounce. No, we did catch it. Okay. But Haniger tags up. And there's the thing with letting that guy go. It's 6-all. Once again. And looks like we're going to walk. That was a walk? That was a walk. No inning done yet. That's going to be in. Runners to first and second. Oh, and a walk. Come on. Shad Newcomb having a rough outing here. Bases loaded, 2 outs. We're going to walk in the winning run. We walked the winning run in. There's your Portland Weirdos for you. Season is done. Doesn't get much worse than that on a way to end your season. Our scouts have found a high-level prospect in center fielder Juan Ramirez. International Complex will bring him in late next season. Good contact and power. Not a good defender, though. He'll need some work on that one. We'll see what the potential is like in that department. But playoffs have begun. I'm going to push it forward a little bit before we check in on how things are doing in those regards. A trio of AA players have also decided to retire. A lot of these are relievers. We signed a ton of relievers on the cheap that were anything under 30. I think at the same time, again, this is a testament of where our farm system is and was. These are the guys that were there. It's the pieces that we've used to refill that is already starting to retool it. But we're definitely making some vacancies for the coming season. We're not overloaded at this point. Our final record was 59-103, by the way. It would have been very nice to get that one more win because 2 years back it was 60-102. So that one more win would have equalized that after winning just 50 games the year prior. So we took a team that was as bad, if not worse, and got them at least back to where they had been the year before. Now, the A's definitely had a good run, but they had to moneyball their way back down to absolutely nothing and start over, and they didn't do it with a farm system. So they looked like they might have held on to this standing a little bit too long, and we also had some COVID years in there. It was a little chaotic. But as far as the revenue and expenses for the year, we seem to be doing just fine in that department. We did not have a bad year. We brought in a lot more. Yeah, we brought in $110 million for the year, which is not as much as they brought in the year before, but there was a huge drop-off in terms of local media. $22 million less. We were only $13 million less than the year before, but gate share gained versus gate share lost. Did well in that department. That's just because we don't have butts in seats. But if we brought in $110 million and only spent $90, it's a big positive balance for the year, good $20 million, and that means there is more to play with to do something in the coming year. We can afford a bit more. AAA, where we've got 2 players retiring, a 31-year-old reliever and a 27-year-old second baseman. A little surprising there, but I guess he did have a pretty rough year. He was definitely the backup and only hit .227. Wildcard series are done, so we pick up from there. The Rangers have beaten the Astros to go on to play the Red Sox. The Twins have beaten the Orioles to go on to play the Angels. And in the National League, the Reds have beaten the Giants, who will face the Dodgers. And the Cardinals have beaten the Brewers, who will face the Braves. The division series has seen the Rangers beat the Red Sox 3-2 to make it to the championship, with the Twins also beating the Angels. So the two higher seeds both knocked out two wild card teams into the championships for the American League. Meanwhile, the same thing happened with the Dodgers losing to the Reds 3-2, but the one higher seeded team that has gone through did so at the most convincing fashion with a sweep, the Braves beating the Cardinals, and they are into the league championship series for the National League, and at this point you figure the favorites. We can't do anything till January, but the pool for international players has just come available. In terms of demand, no one's looking crazy high. What was our spending for this? 4.75. So we do have the max allocation, or at least a decent allocation, which means we can afford to scout the talent pool here. A lot of very talented ones, potential-wise. These are all very, very young players. But there is a bottom end down here that we don't want to bother with. Next up is international private training. Once per month, a private practice for up to 10 international amateurs will be run automatically on the final day of each month, or manually at any time. Each practice will increase your scouting accuracy for all invited players and their relationship with your team. The relationship piece, very important on that one. So starting with kind of the potential, and key for me is going to be looking at these few players that have potential and could be signed cheaper. I think those are going to be big time potential acquisitions for us, as I think our smartest thing to do right now is to not go get one big time player. We have a whole organization that needs to be revamped. If we can go get 8 good prospects, we're reshaping our farm system with 8 of those versus one big time one that we got to fight for and might not get anyway. So kind of going in the who is more affordable and 3 stars. How many of those were there? That's 9 already. And then we'll add, there's a league interest part as well versus relationship. Oh, I like this. Okay, relationship has built with a bunch where that relationship, I like this system. I really like this system. It's neat. Meanwhile, in the playoffs, Twins have beaten the Rangers 4-3, so they went all the way to 7. 2 wild cards. Doesn't surprise me that they can duke it out and have that close of a matchup. But the Reds, the surprise, the Reds, a wild card team, has swept the number 1 seed Atlanta Braves 4-0. So the Braves, hot and cold, and it's the Reds and Twins in the World Series. On a matchup you would expect to see. Midwest matchup, they have yet to begin their series, but you can get kind of a look at some expectations. Pitching matchup wise, you would think Minnesota would have an advantage in game 1, pretty close in game 2. Minnesota had an advantage in game 3 and 4 and game 7. So if you got to pick somebody based on pitching staff, you would think Minnesota's going to have the edge, at least on the starters. Though the Reds had a better record this season. Minnesota won the regular season matchup just 2-1. They only played each other a single series. Minnesota is 14th in the American League in runs scored, but first in defense. Where Cincinnati was 2nd in the National League in runs scored, but 11th in defense. Boy, which one is this? Which direction is this one going to go? Interesting. Like, something's got to give, right? A bad offense versus a bad defense, and then a great defense versus a great offense. They've played 4 games so far. The Reds have won 3 of them, including the first 2 in the series. That's a big advantage, and they are looking very likely. It was a 9-4 win in Game 1, 3-1 in Game 2, where Minnesota finally bounces back to win Game 3, 8-3, and then a very close fought. And there's your back and forth. High offense or very few runs. High offense, very few runs. A little back and forth. Not a great matchup for Game 5. Means I think Cincinnati could be winning this one here in this 5th game. 12-6, and it is. The Reds have won the World Series. One of my friends is a big-time Reds fan, grew up in Cincinnati, and as a lifelong Ken Griffey Jr. fan, even though he left Seattle, still have a soft spot for Cincinnati as he played the later portion of his career there. All right, folks, well, we gained 9 wins in our first year. We definitely made progress with our farm system, and there are things to look forward to. I think we're definitely headed in the right direction, but that's one year in the books. That's going to do it for this episode. I'm the Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.